war had begun, an oblique and different kind of war, primitive in its ways, but sophisticated in its cruelty. A war to which we gradually became accustomed, because it was not easy to admit that an entire country was being forced into a monstrous intimacy with blood. And then the battle began. This is a war between dialectic materialism and idealistic humanism. We are fighting against the nihilists, against the agents of destruction whose only objective is destruction itself, although they disguise this with social crusades. This is why we see their inexplicable alliance, their inexplicable victims. Just as centuries ago the world was attacked by plagues, we today are seeing a new and hallucinatory epidemic, the desire to kill. We are not going to fight unto death. We are fighting beyond death unto victory. For love of life, for respect of those who have fallen and will fall, for those who are being born, for those who are afraid, even for those who are confused after such torment and wish to be reborn as free men. For all of them I say, death will not triumph here, because all of our dead, one, each and every one of them, died for the triumph of life.
Behind the sadness and exhaustion, there was a desire to not seek only revenge, but to win a war against barbaric behavior. People who hate freedom and hate what we stand for. The deliberate and deadly attacks in this country were more than acts of terror. They were acts of war. This requires our nation to unite in steadfast determination and resolve. This requires our nation to unite in steadfast determination and resolve. Freedom and democracy are under attack. People need to know that we are facing an enemy different than any we have faced before. This is an enemy who hides in the shadows and has no regard for human life. This is an enemy who preys on unsuspecting and innocent people and then runs for cover, but it won't be able to run for cover forever. This is an enemy who tries to hide, but it won't be able to hide forever. This is an enemy who thinks its harbors are safe, but they won't be safe forever. This enemy struck not only our people, but all the people everywhere, freedom-loving in the world. We will use our resources to defeat this enemy. We will rally the world. We will be patient. We will be focused, and we will be steadfast in our determination. This battle will take time, and it will take resolve. But make no mistake, we are going to win. Now, people need to go about their business. We can't let the terrorists achieve their objective of terrifying this nation to the point where nobody conducts their business, where people don't shop.
Look, it's so much me.
Of course. Well, that's pulling you over.
bleak and different kind of war.
There is a desire to seek not only revenge, but to win a war.
Different, primitive in its ways, but sophisticated in its cruelty.
Against barbaric behavior.
A war to which we grew accustomed to.
People who hate freedom and hate what we stand for.
Because it was not easy to admit that an entire country was being forced into a monstrous intimacy with blood.
The deliberate and deadly attacks yesterday were not just acts of terror.
Then the battle began.
They were acts of war.
This is a war.
This requires our country to unite with steadfast determination and resolve.
Between dialectic materialism and idealistic humanism.
People need to know that we are facing a different enemy than we have ever faced.
We are fighting against nihilists,
This enemy hides in the shadows and has no regard for human life.
against the agents of destruction, whose only objective is destruction itself.
This is an enemy who preys on innocent and unsuspecting people and then runs for cover. But it won't be able to run for cover forever.
Although they disguise this with social crusades.
This is an enemy who tries to hide, but they won't be able to hide forever.
This is why we can see their inexplicable alliance.
This is an enemy who thinks his harbors are safe, but they won't be safe forever.
Their inexplicable victims.
This enemy struck not only our people, but all of the freedom-loving people everywhere in the world.
Just as centuries ago, the world was attacked by plagues.
We will attack everyone in the world. We will use our resources to defeat this enemy.
We now are seeing a new and hallucinatory epidemic.
We will be patient.
The desire to kill.
We will be focused. We will be steadfast in our determination.
We are not fighting unto death.
This battle will take time,
We're fighting beyond death
and it will take resolve.
unto victory.
But make no mistake, we will win.
For love of life.
Now people have to go about their business.
For respect for those who have fallen and will fall.
We can't let the terrorists achieve the objective of terrifying this nation to the point where we don't conduct our business.
For those who are being born. For those who are afraid. And even for those who are confused by this torment.
Where people don't shop.
For all of them I say, death will not triumph here. Because of all our dead, each and every one died for the triumph of life.
Where people don't shop.
Where people don't shop.